Good day. For today's lesson, we will be talking about the determination of prices of commodities. Selling takes place when the seller agrees to sell a specific quantity of products as to what the buyer is also willing and able to buy. In determining the prices of products, the market interaction of the buyer and seller should be taken into consideration. Here, we will come up with the term market equilibrium, which is the market condition where quantity supplied is equal to the quantity demanded. Under the market equilibrium, we need to get the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. To compute for the equilibrium price, we will be using the demand function and the supply function. Let's have our example. QD is equal to 500 minus 5P and QS is equal to negative 800 plus 20P. We first substitute the values for QD is equal to QS, so just copy 500 minus 5P is equal to negative 800 plus 20P. Transpose the values, so negative 5P minus 20P is equal to negative 800 minus 500. So we add up. We will come up with negative 25P is equal to negative 1,300 divided by, of course, negative 25. So P here, or the price, is equal to 52. So that's for our equilibrium price, or the price level that both buyers and sellers agree to have a transaction in the market. After computing for the equilibrium price, we now go to the equilibrium quantity. Equilibrium quantity can be determined by substituting the price in the demand and supply function. In our example a while ago, the equilibrium price is equal to 52. We will just be substituting 52 in our demand and supply function. So let's start with our QD. Again, QD is equal to 500 minus 5P, so substitute P with 52. QD is equal to 500 minus 5 times 52, which is 260. QD is equal to 500 minus 260, so we have quantity demanded is equal to 240. We now go to our supply function. Again, QS is equal to negative 800 plus 20P. We substitute 52 to our price here in the supply function. Negative 800 plus 20 times our price, which is 52. So QS is equal to negative 800 plus 1040. So QS is equal to 240. So that's how we compute for the equilibrium quantity. After computing for the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity, we can now see that there is a market equilibrium wherein the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied. The market equilibrium, equilibrium price, and equilibrium quantity can also be determined in a demand and supply schedule. So I have here a schedule with blanks, and we will be computing for the missing values. We start with the quantity demanded at the price of 40 pesos. So we will just be substituting again the price of 40. So QD is equal to 500 minus 5 times 40. QD is equal to 500 minus 200. So our QD is equal to 300. We now go to our quantity supplied at the price of 40. So again, substitute negative 800 plus 20 times 40. So QS is equal to negative 800 plus 800. So QS is equal to 0. Next one, we will be using quantity demanded of 275 to look for the price and the quantity supplied. So we will just again substitute for the quantity demanded. 275 is equal to 500 minus 5p. Transpose it. 275 minus 500 is equal to negative 5p is equal to, of course, negative 225 is equal to negative 5p divided by negative 5. Okay, cancel. We have p is equal to, calculator, we have 45. Next one, we will find QS using, of course, the price. So let's just again substitute. QS is equal to negative 800 plus 20 times 45, which is the price. Okay, QS is equal to negative 800 plus 20 times 40 is equal to 900. So QS is equal to 100. So the next one, we have here QS is equal to 300. So we will be looking for the quantity demanded and the price. So QS is equal to negative 800 plus 20p. So we will just be substituting 300 to QS. So 300 is equal to negative 800 plus 20p. Transpose 300 plus 800 is equal to 20p. Okay, so 1,100 is equal to 20p. Of course, divided by 20 to get the p, which is equal to 55. After computing for the price, which is 55, we are now ready to compute for the quantity demanded. So QD is equal to 500 minus 5p. Just substitute the price, which is 55. QD is equal to 500 minus 5 times 55. So QD is equal to 500 minus 275. So our QD at the price of 55 is 225. So for the last point, we will be computing for the quantity demanded and quantity supplied again. So at the price of 60 pesos. So we start with quantity demanded. Just substitute the price, which is 60. QD is equal to 500 minus 5 times 60. QD is equal to 500, okay, minus 300. So our quantity demanded at the price of 60 is 200. For the last one, we have to compute for the quantity supplied at the price of 60. So the supply function, negative 800 plus 20p, just substitute the price, which is 60. So QS is equal to negative 800 plus 20 times 60, which is 1,200. Negative 800 plus 1,200 is equal to the QS of 400. So we have at the price of 60, the quantity demanded is 200 and the quantity supplied is 400. Our demand and supply schedule is now complete with the values. And as I have said earlier, the market equilibrium, the equilibrium price, and the equilibrium quantity can also be determined in a demand and supply schedule. All you need to do is to look for the same values in the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied. In our sample schedule, we can now clearly see that at the price of 52, both quantity demanded and quantity supplied is equal to 240. So the equilibrium price is 52 and the equilibrium quantity is 240 units. Using our demand and supply schedule, we are now ready to create our demand and supply curve. We first draw the x-axis and the y-axis and indicate the origin 0. The quantity is in the horizontal or the x-axis, while the price is on the vertical or the y-axis. So after drawing the axis, indicate the quantity and the price intervals on each axis. For our sample demand and supply curve, we use 20 as the interval for the price and 100 as the interval for the quantity. We are now ready to plot the points, so we start with the quantity demanded. After we plot the points, we are now ready to connect the points. Okay, so that will be your demand curve. After plotting the demand, we are now ready to plot the quantity supplied. After plotting the points, we are now ready to connect the points for us to form the supply curve. We now have our supply curve and our demand curve, and for us to determine the market equilibrium, we will just look for the point at which the supply curve and the demand curve intersect with each other. In our curve, the market equilibrium is at the price of 52 and at the quantity of 240. Whatever we use, whether the demand and supply functions, the schedule, or the curve, we will still come up with the same market equilibrium, equilibrium price, and equilibrium quantity. And that will be the basis for determining the prices of commodities.